Welcome everybody to another episode, and today we have Jennifer Byrne with us, and I'm really excited about this episode because Jennifer has a wealth of information. I am not kidding. Jennifer and myself, we met, God, a good few months ago now at this stage, even longer. I think we met through Pat Slattery, and we're in the Outstanding Network together as well. So Jennifer is a best-selling author, and she is a deep health coach. We're going to ask her a little bit about that in a minute. She's also a nutritionist as well, a personal trainer for health, fitness and performance. Jennifer, you're very welcome along. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Johann. I'm absolutely delighted to be here, and I think it's probably longer than a couple of months now. I think we met at one of the events last year, going way back.
I think it was when you were writing the book, actually. Yeah, it was a good while ago. I met the two Jennifers. I met you together because I remember getting a photograph of the two of you together ages ago. So Jennifer, deep health coaching. What is, like, I've heard of coaching. There's lots of different types of coaching, life coaches, health coaches, but what is deep health coaching?
I suppose, Johann, for me, like, deep health coaching is kind of looking at a person as a whole. So, you know, the physical aspect of it and the fitness aspect of it is only about 16% of the full 360-degree circle. I'm big on what I would call coaching for life. It's a true transformation where you're going to thrive in every aspect of your life. So you're looking at it as like your mental, your emotional well-being, your relationships, relationships with others around you, relationships with food. We're looking at your environments, your support networks. You know, there's so much involved. It's not just about, I found over the years working with clients, it's not just that 1 hour in the gym that's going to make you lose that weight that you want to lose. It's so much more than that. And that's kind of why I left that kind of lifestyle behind with the office and the personal training, because I really, really wanted to focus on the coaching end of it, because there's so much more demand for the coaching end of it. And really educating people, I suppose, around that, and the other 23 hours in the day, and, you know, reasons why we would maybe tend to emotionally eat, or we have disordered eating patterns. And it's just looking more, it's solely like focusing on yourself, bringing awareness to yourself, to the body, looking after our mind, our mental health, our well-being, or looking after our digestive system, just by doing something simple like slowing down what you eat, you know, or how you eat. Yeah, that's what I mean when you look at environment and support. And so, like, where are you eating your dinner? Are you just constantly eating on the go and packing yourself full of processed food, ready to go foods? Not saying that they're bad. I don't use labels, you know, Johann. I really don't like that label, like good food, bad food. And, you know, I would always say to clients and people when I meet them, beware that health halo. You know, I call it the health halo.
Yeah. A lot of people are kind of scared of that. They're like, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? And they have that categorized, you know. And one day they're told spinach is good for you, and then the next day you're told it's not good for you, or whatever, you know. And there's always something behind it, you know. And as you say, you mentioned the word awareness, and I think that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, awareness, you know, and we are all individuals. So there's no one thing that's going to fix everybody, or one thing that's right for everybody. It's really all individual. And I say that to people in relation to sleep. So obviously I educate people around the importance of sleep, and it's different for everybody. All our requirements are different depending on your body type, your genetics, your age. So there's many different factors involved in that. So food, so you talk about nutrition as well, and food, and eating, you know, the right types of food or whatever. What is food? We know food, we eat food when we're hungry, but really, what is food?
Like, food is so much more, I suppose, than just what we kind of class it as just being food and, you know, eating when we're hungry. Like, food is a communicator. Like, when you think of everything that when you eat food, like, think about the communication that's happening within the body, and all these little tiny signals that are being sent, like, from the brain right through your gut, right down, right through the digestive system. And this is something that's really, really important to understand, I think, for people. Instead of looking at food as just calories and, you know, food to lose weight, think about it in a more broader spectrum, and thinking of food as, like, food is nourishing me. Food is helping me survive. Food is helping my vital organs work. You know, there's an absolute genius within inside our bodies. Like, you know, all these things that are happening our hearts just beat, our hearts just pump blood around the body.
I tell my clients food is information.
Definitely food is information, because it's sending all those signals to the brain and to the digestive system and our bodies. And that's why it's so important, I think, to really, really nourish ourselves from within. And that's something I thrive on. It's like nourishing to flourish, because change will happen, but we need to nourish ourselves first. We need to nourish our thoughts and our body.
Absolutely, absolutely. How we're thinking, the food that we're eating, and food affects our mood as well. So like, we have there's so much about the gut that we don't understand and that we don't appreciate. So we eat the food, and they say we are what we eat, but really it's what we absorb. We really are, because so much of the food that we eat we can't absorb between one thing and another, and a lot of the time it's because of a bad gut or a leaky gut. Can you tell us a little bit about, and that is really, the leaky gut is really a big thing at the moment, and it's contributing to a lot of autoimmune diseases, other systemic diseases, like could be headaches or psoriasis, and it's all coming from the gut and this inflammation in the gut. Can you talk a little bit, because that's a really, really important area, I think. Can you talk a bit about that? What's going on?
Well, I suppose thinking about the microbiome in general, like I like to say that it's like a rainforest down there. There's so much life going on in our microbiome, okay? So it's really, really important to look after that. But like that, our microbiome is our own fingerprint. So my microbiome is not going to be the same as your microbiome, say for instance. So this is something that people really need to kind of get a gist of. So obviously if you're, we can use probiotics, we can use good foods, so say like for things like leaky gut or IBS, you would always automatically, people would say eat plenty of fiber. But for people with those kind of symptoms, fiber, we don't need a diet that's high in fiber. So there we would be eating mainly for inflammation. So you'd be trying to kind of like, when things like that are happening in our digestive system, like a leaky gut, say for instance, that's an inflammation. So in circumstances like that, you're not going to go out and tell a client to go out and eat loads of fruit and veg on a high fiber diet, because that's not going to work for them. They would need to focus more on what I say and looking after the inflammation. So you would probably maybe start off with a little elimination diet, like what I call it, it's a detox, even though I don't like using words like detox and things like that. But in this sense, you would be detoxing the body, giving the kind of digestive system a break. So something as simple as just sipping on like a chicken bone broth for 3 or 4 days will really, really, really help ease symptoms, especially if you've that inflammation within the digestive system. And so that would really, really help with something like that.
Brilliant.
And then when things like that kind of die down, when that inflammation dies down, slowly you would kind of reintroduce foods and see, like that, it's all about journaling and awareness. That's why I always say awareness. So you would journal and be aware, and what's the trigger foods? What foods are triggering off the symptoms again, So it's vitally important to really, really understand your own body and your own system. And simple little kind of, I suppose, tips and tricks to, because a lot of people would say, oh, I suffer with IBS, or would stay clear of gluten-free foods and that. And the first thing I would say is like, well, why steer clear of gluten-free foods? Are you celiac? And they would look at me and say, no, but it's healthier. So it's really important to understand that, like, celiac disease is a disease. And it's really, really important for celiacs not to eat gluten, because once again, the body is going to inflame and cause them loads of different symptoms. My sister is celiac, so I understand. So, yes, sometimes you might bloat a bit more if you eat a lot of, say, carbohydrate foods, or,
Chinese foods, MSN and or whatever it is.
I know, but Joanne, it's not necessarily like reactions, like simple things. Like I would speak with clients, it's looking at the simple things first, looking at our environments, what's happening first. How are you eating? Are you chewing your food? Are you taking your time eating your food? It's all these simple questions. So much of these, like IBS and bloatedness, all this can be prevented through just basically slowing down and mindfully.
And sure, how many of us eat at our kitchen table nowadays? We're eating our food on the go as we're, driving the car, or out in the car, or in the sitting room watching TV. We're not mindfully eating and really being aware and being present with the food, as you say. And food is energy too. Like it's an energy source.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just slowing down. I know we can't, like, in a busy world, it's being realistic. You can't just sit and eat and whatever. But I think it's really important to take that time out and really sketch out those times in your schedule and say, well, right, okay, I'm going to take a 15-minute break to have my apple, or, and really, really enjoy it. And like, chew your food, just slow down.
Yeah.
It's so important, really, really important, because, you know, we tend to kind of use a sticky plaster over things and fix everything with a pill, and I'm more about preventative methods. Yes, I understand there's a lot of stuff that does need medication, and it certainly has its place. But, small little preventative methods that you can do, like, you start really being aware and start putting in these little kind of things like mindful eating, slowing down, stop putting so much pressure on the digestive system.
Yeah.
It can really, really improve symptoms for people, and you won't need a lifelong, of medication.
Yeah, yeah. And another big thing that I see as well, Jennifer, and I'll just touch on it because we could be here all day talking about this, but is phones, mobile phones. People, I actually, in one of my programs, I have a fantastic image that really portrays the reality now. When people are going to restaurants, if you look around in the restaurants, now I know there's not many people now with the virus going around, but I'd say 70% of people have their mobile phone out, and even couples, the two of them are on the phone. They're not communicating. There's no relationship there. And then with the food as well, so they're not consciously eating, but the relationship's been affected as well.
Definitely.
Whole big subject, isn't it, with the mobile phones?
Joanne, listen, we could go on for, I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
And I am, like, but I've gotten back into the habit of, when I am actually speaking with someone or having a coffee with someone, the phone stays in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm either with that person or I'm not with that person. And the same, I just think it's so important, like, communication, it's really important in every aspect of our lives too. And then obviously communication with our own body, with food, because food is the communicator there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's really important as human beings that we are able to communicate, because we can't have success in life, whatever success is, small or big, but having a relationship with somebody is something successful as well. And it's something that we thrive, that we actually need as part of our security as well. So it's really important that we're able to build these relationships, and the mobile phones can get in the way there as well. So, so moving on swiftly, because we can talk about that one for a very long time.
Yeah.
So talk to us, you said fasting. So fasting to a lot of people means starving yourself, but it's not starving yourself. It's so much more, and it's it's a very healthy thing to do, because you're giving your body a break. And I know when we go to bed at night time, we naturally have this 12 to 14 hour fast. So what is happening in our bodies when we're actually fasting, and why is it? And talk about blood sugar levels as well in relation to that.
Well, obviously you've touched the nail on the head there, Joanne, when you said we're actually giving our digestive system a break. And that's basically what fasting is doing. Obviously, it has its place. Intermittent fasting is not going to make you lose weight. And that's just something I really, really want to stress, because a lot of people think all these fancy diets and everything are making me lose the weight. They're not making me lose the weight, unfortunately. Intermittent fasting does have its place. It does work with people who definitely would have maybe digestive issues. A lot of people would use intermittent fasting to really, really help, where they only have a small window of time in the day where they actually just eat, and then allow their bodies just to digest and recover again. And it really works in some areas as well. So basically, obviously for sugar, as our sugar rises, we all know when we eat foods, our glucose go right up to the roof. So obviously we want to try and keep an even keel. I wouldn't say it's, moving forward, it's going to be like the best way to kind of like keep your sugar stable, because obviously to keep your sugar stable in the body, especially for people who are diabetic or anything like that, it would be more recommended to maybe have smaller meals.
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours, just to keep an even keel of sugar levels in the body, rather than the glucose shooting right up. Because we know if we eat a big meal, our sugar levels are going to shoot right through the roof. So you really want to make sure that, depending on you, once again, everybody is different. But intermittent fasting can work for a lot of people who would have a lot of digestive issues, and just to give that digestive system a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And even if you feel like, I wouldn't be able to last that long without food, giving it a try once or twice a week, just by even skipping that first meal in the morning and waiting until about 1 o'clock in the day, just to start off small. It can be really, really, really helpful and, you know, really, really improve gut health and our digestion as well. Just by just something small like that.
Would you agree that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, or what would you say to that?
Now, once again, that's a generalization. Bring awareness to the body. Eat when you feel hungry. Not everybody needs to get up and feel hungry first thing in the morning. That's okay. You know, that's why the whole deep.
I don't eat first thing in the morning. I can't.
Exactly. That's the thing. So like that's good. That works for you. You know, so like that's where the deep health coaching comes in, because it's all about working with your body and what works best for you and your lifestyle. That's exactly what it is. You know, there's nothing, you know, wrong with not having a breakfast. You do not have to have breakfast. As I just say to my clients, you know, if you feel like if you're hungry, eat. And then sometimes you might feel hungry, but it could be that you're just dehydrated. You know, like it's the same thing when we say have 8 glasses of water a day. We're all different shapes and sizes. So, you know, at the end of the day, hydration is all down to what your body shape and size is.
Talk to us about hydration. That is a very, very important element for the body.
Yeah, definitely, because like 75% of the body is made up of water anyway. So, you know, when that's starting to drop, obviously it's like, oh my God, the body's craving something, and, you know, brain fog, you know, you think you're feeling hungry, but sometimes you might just be dehydrated. So the best way to kind of gauge like how, you know, you're getting enough water for your body shape and your body size is for every 25 kilos that you weigh, 1 litre of water is what you need in your body. So that's probably the best way to work out how much water you should be drinking in a day. Brilliant. So obviously then that can raise, you know, especially if would train hard, like for me, myself, I would train a lot. So obviously the sweat element of it as well, I would really need to be aware of making sure I'm hydrated. So on days that maybe that would be hotter, or you were training and you're sweating a lot, you might need to, you know, increase the water intake on those days. And the same like with your potassium and sodium levels, making sure that they would kind of be level as well. And when it comes to hydration as well.
So these are the electrolytes. So these are what enables the energy of the cells. Yeah, very good. Okay, so that'd be very important for athletes, or if you're doing anything energetic, I suppose, during the day.
Like for anyone, like, you know, that's what I'm saying. We say, oh, well, I'm drinking my 8 glasses of water per day, but like 8 glasses of water, say for me, that's whatever, 65 kilos in training, that's not going to be enough for me. Like I drink 3 litres of water every day. And then when I was bodybuilding or whatever, on really, really intense training, it could have been up to 5 litres someday.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though I would be considered small, you know, so you can imagine somebody that's maybe, you know, something like 80 kilos and someone who's 50 kilos. How can you possibly say that 8 glasses of water?
Exactly.
So when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Like for every 25 kilos you weigh,
that's a very good guideline. That's a very good guideline. You do a lot of exercise, you say, and for performance training and physical exercises. What type of workouts do you do, or what you know, for women? Let's talk about women. What type of exercises are good for women, especially, you know, around 40 and 50 years of age? What do they really need to be looking at in terms of exercising?
I would highly recommend introducing resistance training. Get rid of that cardio bunny kind of, you know, mindset where for years it was all about cardio and running. You know, by adding in some resistance training, which, you know, weight training, even just using your body weight to start out with, we're looking after our bone health, you know, the prevention of osteoporosis, coming up to menopause, things like this. We're looking after our joints. You know, it's so important to add a little bit of resistance training as we age, because, you know, every decade we're losing 10% of our muscle mass.
Yeah.
You know, so as we age, it's so important to add in that bit of resistance weight and ensure we're getting enough protein in our diet as well, especially for women going through the menopause and that as well. And lifting weights doesn't make you bulky, you know. And, you know, a lot of clients say to me, the majority is, I want to lose weight and tone up. So in my head, I would say, well, obviously, okay, so they want to build a little bit of lean muscle mass and reduce body fat in the body. So basically, that's what that is. So in order to build up that muscle mass and reduce the body fat, we need to do a bit of resistance training, feed the muscle so it can grow. Muscle and fat weigh the same, but muscle takes up a lot less room than fat. So a pound of muscle is nice and lean, it's nice and tight in the body, so it gives you that lean look, whereas a pound of fat, it spreads out and takes up more room in the body. So that's how you get that toned look.
Yeah,
A bit of resistance training, and reducing the body fat in the body, your overall body composition. You cannot pinpoint one area in the body. It's overall body composition.
And does it give you more, better energy, optimizing your energy better, that having a proper muscle mass as opposed to?
Oh, definitely. Plus the metabolism as well in the body. I mean, you can eat a lot more. People I get people saying to me, oh my God, you never stop eating. How do you stay so slim and lean looking? Because I've so much muscle mass for a woman of my age. It's like, my muscle needs, my body needs a lot more kind of food, and my metabolism will be a lot higher as well.
Brilliant.
Because obviously it's constantly, the muscle is constantly needing that food. So, get out there, ladies, and start lifting a few weights and building up a bit more muscle mass, and you can eat more. So it's great. It's a win-win situation.
Brilliant. I think it's a really important point about the for the bones and for the osteoporosis.
Oh, definitely, Joanne.
So that's a big one, especially with the hormones that are dropping when we're aging. And
estrogen,
and talking about aging. So as we age, everything seems to decline in the body. But I suppose when we're looking after our health, physically, mentally, it slows that down, in all areas. But it's going to happen. Like when we're aging, we can age gracefully, and that's the way I like to look at it. You can't stop aging. It's going to happen, but you can slow it down, and like everything else as well. And one thing that's really happening an awful lot, the numbers are going up, is Alzheimer's. So I talk a lot about that in relation to sleep. And it has been shown that, people that aren't getting enough sleep, because part of the process at nighttime is the brain clears itself out at nighttime and clears out all those toxins in the brain, all the healing repairing that's been done at nighttime, including building up the muscles as well, which is really important if we're doing training as well. It's really important to get that deep, restful sleep. So in terms of nutrition and, what types of foods would you recommend for mental health, for mood, all that hormonal health, all that kind of stuff?
Well, for health in general, I would always say it's whole foods, Joanne.
Yeah.
Foods that have the least amount
of foods.
Foods that have the least amount, like a potato is a potato. Simple as, there's nothing added. Yes, you can add some butter to it because, butter, we all need our fat. So we're looking at foods, like when we talk about fat, we need our omega-3s.
Yeah.
So we need that. So the likes of mackerel, salmon, walnuts, all these lovely foods that have, high levels of omega-3s, eggs, say for instance, you have your omega-3s, your vitamin Bs, you have protein in eggs, so it's really, really important. Just simple everyday ingredients, like you don't overcomplicate it. I think,
I love it.
People get so fixed up in, oh my God, I can't have this, and I can't. You can have anything you want. You can eat anything you want.
I think when you have so many restrictions, all these diets, no, I've never gone, I'm a skinny old thing. I've always been the one trying to put weight on when everyone else is trying to lose it, right? But what I was going to say was, I forgot what I was going to say to you there now, but completely forgot what I was going to say to you. But go on, you keep going there, whatever you're saying, it will come back to me in a second.
Yeah, I'm talking about like as in foods and what foods we eat. Like I don't believe in diets. Like, so why would you want to diet and put that stress on your body? It's all about living it. It's all about eating foods that you enjoy. I would get asked the question constantly, what's the best diet? The best diet is one you can stick with.
That's it.
One that's working for you.
Yeah, because I've heard all these, there's so many different types of diets. And what I was actually going to say was, at the beginning of the year, we make this New Year's resolution. And, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds or whatever, but it doesn't last, because it's like, I have to, and there's so much willpower that's required, and that takes a lot of energy. Whereas when you're enjoying the process and you're really enjoying the food, it's not hard work, and it's so much more simpler. And your body is so forgiving too, and you can get that slice of cake in if you want. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. Like, I don't believe in restrictive diets or yo-yo dieting, and that's the problem. When people start out on a journey, on a health and fitness journey, it's all in. It's the diet, it's the exercise, it's everything, and you're putting so much more stress on your body.
Yeah.
And you're not even thinking about simple little things like, how is your sleep? How is your digestion? Like, are you going to the toilet on a regular basis? All these simple little questions. What's your stress levels like? What's your work life like? And so much is forgotten about. It's just all hell for leather. That's why, the coaching systems I put in place, they're done over consistently over time. Small, doable, actions and practices that are so easy to implement, and implement ones that suit you and your lifestyle, consistently done over time.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
And it's a slow process, but like that, it's an enjoyable one. You're not stressing yourself out.
Yeah.
And you put these into practice so that they become like anything, like just brushing your teeth or brushing your hair.
Yeah,
They're
it becomes
everyday
habitual.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and it's automatic, so you don't even have to think about it. So tell us, Jennifer, we're coming near the very end of the program. So you are also involved in the Your Holistic Academy, which I am too as well. So we're going to be working together in there. Tell us a little bit about, so you have some programs coming up. What type of programs are you working on? How can you help people?
Yeah, well, at the moment, myself and Christine McGonigal, who is the menopause executive, we are working on a program together solely focused on menopause and giving women the information they need for menopause, and then obviously looking at health and well-being and our gut health and how that can actually help women in those stages of perimenopause, menopause and post-menopause as well. So
Brilliant.
that's really looking forward to that, yeah.
It's a very big area, isn't it? Because the people, you know, they don't really have, to give away their power, they don't have much power. They rely on doctors and medications and all of this. Whereas, you know, it's great what you and Christine are doing, because you can give so much information to people about what they can do themselves to help to reduce the symptoms and really help themselves, and give them the information as to, you know, the choices that they have. So giving them power, basically.
Exactly, Joanna. And I think it's all about, because you're actually living through it yourself. Like, I'm experiencing menopausal symptoms, like, and I've recently started on HRT, the gel. And only for Christine, I would never have known about this gel, because I was always set against HRT and, you know, not wondering what was going to happen to my body. But with this gel, you know, you're not taking it orally, so there's not much pressure on the liver and things like that either. So it's just a little gel that I rub into my leg. So, you know, it's finding out this information. There's a very lack of, you know, there's a lack of information for women around menopause, especially here in Ireland, and that's something myself and Christine really want to change, and really educate and help as many other women going through that as we can, and taking it, you know, here within Ireland and globally as well, and getting out and really just helping out others. Yeah,
it's a fantastic, because you know what, women have gone through so much in terms of their hormonal health, you know, from being pregnant and, you know, their monthly cycle and all these fluctuations with hormones. And women are the caregivers as well. Women are, you know, especially parents, they're very, they often give to their children before themselves and leave themselves to the last. And I really think that women need to really self-care. They need to really look after themselves. And when they have information like this where they can care for themselves and whatever about menopause, but also loving themselves and doing something nice for themselves that can reduce their stress levels and increase their resilience as well. And with this information, because stress is a massive part of it too, isn't it? You know, and
definitely.
and in this world, especially right now, more than ever before, we are experiencing this whole shift like we've never experienced before, and stress is having a massive impact. And you know, between our stress response and our emotional health and all this uncertainty and fear, and this is the very biggest area where we can be controlled, if you like, giving away our power. We're not even realizing it. So again, you come back to awareness and talking about awareness and how we can help ourselves, care for ourselves and love ourselves. And when we are being the highest level of ourselves, then when we're coming from that place, we can help so many other people as well, you know, in our family, relationships, our children. It's a ripple effect. It goes on and on. So when is your courses beginning, or when are they on?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I am currently running a special offer, and it's starting on the 3rd of August. And I'm opening up my coaching program that I would use with one-to-one clients. But I'm opening up, I want to form an online community, Joanne. And it's going to be run through a private Facebook group, but I will be there, the expert coach, and I will coach and guide you through, you know, I want to build up that community, build up a bit of support for women, you know, the accountability. I'll be working through the year-long program within that group. So like, it's going to be like small, simple, doable practices done consistently over time. So in a year, you'll not only feel and look better, but you're also going to start looking and feeling younger too. Even though the numbers are going up, but honestly, you're going to start feeling and looking so much younger as well. You know, so it's a support network, because I really want like true transformation for people so that they can thrive in every aspect of their lives. So I'm opening up that coaching program and a special offer at the moment as well. So you're going to get the full year's coaching for less than 1 month's coaching with me on a one-to-one basis. So I mean,
Brilliant.
it's a fantastic offer. Yeah.
I think you mentioned something as well there as well, Jennifer, that you know, you're giving them the information, but you're also there as support, and you're given you know, tips and things to actually do to apply it. So it's applied information.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
because you're not going to get that transformation unless you're actually applying what you've learned. So that's a really big, like, we
Yeah.
can read all the books, we can look at all the YouTube. And I mean, Jennifer, if you were to ask somebody, you know, do you know how to lose weight? Most people do, but they don't do it.
So much stress, they're putting the stress on themselves, Joanne, because they're all the time, you know, getting the information off the web and that. But like, by holding yourself accountable and actually speaking with other people in the group that are on the same journey as you, and we're all in it together, be women supporting women, and I'm really looking forward to it, because I know I've so much to give to people.
Yeah.
You know, I've so much knowledge there that I can really, really help others. You know, not just within health and fitness and nutrition. Like, I've overcome traumatic times myself in my life. I've experienced life.
Yeah.
You know, and still am experiencing, you know, traumatic times too, but I can deal with them so much better because I have these systems and tools in place.
Brilliant. And you have that awareness, as you say, and I think it's that consciousness really, and again, that's where you have the power. That's where, and it's all about the power, isn't it, really, you know, and having that power yourself. Jennifer, if I was to ask you to leave us with a message, or to leave us with you know, a thought, what would you say to people to really help them to be empowered to go on this journey of self-care and mastering their life, basically? What would the message be that you'd have for people?
Simply, I just would say to them, just take time out for you, because you deserve it. Like, honestly, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you keep giving, you're slowly but surely destroying yourself. You know, just be kind and be gentle with yourself, you know, and really, really, that's when true transformation will change, because when you truly value yourself and know that you're worthy of love, and finally just accepting yourself for who you are, everything else in life, everything else around is going to just change for the better.
Couldn't have said it better. That's just beautiful. Where can people find you, Jennifer?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Jennifer Byrne, or at Byrne Coaching on my Facebook business page and Instagram. And the new website will be live over the next couple of weeks, but I'll give you that. So that'll be jenniferbyrnecoaching.com will be the new website as well.
jenniferbyrnecoaching.com. And you're also on Your Holistic Academy as well.
I will be, yeah. I'll be on Your Holistic Academy as well, yeah.
And okay, brilliant. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time today, for all your wisdom and your insights, and really helping to empower people, and especially women. So thank you, Jennifer, and we will talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Joanne. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you.